Hello, Anthony here. Welcome if you're new. I trade crypto only, mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I use the market maker method. I'm based in East Australia, so I mainly trade Asia and UK session, and occasionally I trade the US session, and I'll wake up for it if I think it is worth it. For the little story, there used to be a time about 3 months into my journey where I really tried to trade every session, not especially trade, but be there every session to increase my time on charts and watching candles. And so I was doing polyphasic sleep, having my nights in three increments, doing big naps during the day, and then be there for every session, which was really exhausting. I did learn a lot, but it was just an experiment, and certainly not trade like this nowadays. Even though if throughout the last 2 months, maybe the US gave so many setups, it's been frustrating if you live in in that time of in that part of the world. But there was trades in Asia and UK to say the least. So let's go back through the this week. Obviously, being December, it's really rough price action in my that I know from the past, and so it's better to be careful and be on your toes, especially coming into the holiday season. But start of the week here, that was the weekend. We're obviously expecting a move lower to create maybe an even higher time frame W on both asset, Ethereum as well. Ethereum just broke down below that 4 hour 200. This was a nice retest that I did not take advantage of. I'll go back to lower time frames. Our drawings on. There's a bit going on, but news event here, and this in yellow is my daily range, green is my Asia range, and red is the previous week range. Coming into Monday, there's a little bit of a trade here, but it was just a V bottom and no small reaction on the 5 minutes, nothing crazy to take advantage of. And being Monday, I'll try to be careful. Did not wake up for US. US gave a really good setup here. It's something that happens so often nowadays, where you have Asia that does not merge, UK stays within Asia, and US creates a massive move, and we'll go back to that behavior because this is where I took a loss later in the week. But this sharp retest of the EMAs and drop, ETH was similar here, getting accepted back below previous day range and just dropping through everything. Came here on Tuesday morning is the first trade I missed. That divergence between Bitcoin and Ethereum, even though it was quite difficult to count 3 levels down. The fact is that we respected this level. ETH was holding a previous low. Bitcoin was creating a higher low, and the moment here that we went above the 50, retested 50% Asia and UK, and slowly consolidating above, I was really thinking of opening a long. I was actually on Ethereum that I had my long idea, even though Bitcoin was looking way better. I was thinking doing something like this because we were holding 50% Asia, going to Asia highs, and it was a decent trade here that I did not take. This week there's a lot of trades that I did not take, and then I was pretty pissed off about it because I was just scared of the overall environment, and I was thinking being careful and having more confidence lining up with my ideas. And sometimes you won't have everything, and if something is good enough, it is worth taking a shot. And this is something I did not do. Yeah, here was the move I took. A loss on Ethereum. So here, the idea on the 1 hour was that I had all my levels down here. We were feeling this imbalance. We had finally filled this imbalance, and the idea was creating a higher time frame W and moving higher, sweeping previous week low and then moving higher and continuing this pattern to the upside. So here at this point on both assets, I was looking for longs at US Open. I did wake up for US because actually it was here, sorry. Did wake up in US for this move, and the trick was that on the 5 minute, let me line up my two time frames, my two assets. Right, so here at US Open, here's the US Open, that shaded area. I was really looking for longs, and I would have liked Bitcoin to hold the previous low of the week, and Ethereum same here to hold those EMAs and keep pushing higher. And what happened is we went down and we had this inverted hammer rejecting the previous low of the week. And on Ethereum here, we had what I like to have, W that breaks above the EMAs, and if it fails and then gets rejected by the EMAs, we rejected 50% Asia, and we had this inverted white hammer as well. And from there, I sort of thought we were going to get this previous setup we usually have in US lately, which I showed on Monday. You get a straight drop and just US drops everything. At the same time, Nasdaq and S&P were bearish, and they stayed bearish. They didn't have a move up like this, and I quickly switched my bias a bit too quick, sort of FOMO in that trade. By the time I got filled, my entry was probably around here. I had my stop loss here or there, and I was targeting a low that was a little bit lower. It was a 2-hour trade. So I jumped into this trade, changing my whole bias, going against my first idea that we were going to keep moving higher. When this candle was printing, this one was lower on Bitcoin as well. And the fact is that this was a trap, and quickly reversed, went back up, and Bitcoin did the same thing here. And by the time I realized I was wrong, I didn't want to exit my trade too early, but this was sort of like invalidation point, like getting back above this hammer or this wick here. And when this happened, it happened so quick that I just got wicked out of, just got taken out of this trade for a loss. And at this point, it was too late to get back in to the trade, to the long side. And in the end, the model didn't work out, and we did not continue going higher, and we reversed the whole way down. This on Bitcoin, so on Ethereum, I had rejection of the low of the week, and on Bitcoin, we came back to this supply, which I had my eyes on since Monday here, that we did not retest, and we still did not fully close the CMA gap as well. And at this point, we did into this supply, fill the CME gap, which is a Friday close. And I was really tempted to go for a short, but if I was to follow the model, this was a trade counter trend into retrace of level 1, and trade idea was probably to just go here, and it was like trying to aim for that point, and the risk reward wasn't good enough, and I thought I'm not going to counter trend the move up. Counter trend trade the move up, and obviously this trade kept going, but not super upset about this one. And as the week moved on, we had here the very next day, we had this setup where you had 1 drop, 2 drop, but didn't get 3 drops. You had 1 big drop, 2 drop, and it was either we get a 3rd drop and we keep going, which was the idea. But we had this W here on Bitcoin, and let me move this away. Here, this candle with volume that broke the 50 EMA is the one that usually gets retested, and it got retested into this imbalance with bullish formation. I was super tempted to open a long. This is a long I should have taken as well. Here on Ethereum was quite nice too. Nice retest, 50% Asia, reclaiming Asia high and consolidating above. And yeah, this is a trade, once again, that I should have taken, even though I think I was just scared, and I froze, and I second guessed myself so many times this week that I was just scared to go into this trade, and all of those played out, and these were decent moves. Yeah, maybe not all the way up there. I would have not thought we come back to this high, but we actually went back to this supply, which was pretty good. And we did the exact same thing here on Friday. This is the one I was the most upset about, because we had exactly the same setup presenting. So 2 drops, W into Asia to move up, and you have 2 drops in US, W, second side in Asia. This was really nice because on Bitcoin it was Monday's low as well. So this purple line is Monday's low. So we did grab Monday's high here, grab Monday's low, and broke it, W under it, reclaimed and retested. And this one I was looking here, when this inverted hammer presented, from experience I know that these are traps, and then they get recovered straight away. I had my trade here. It was all in my on my prop firm account to take, either to probably here fill this imbalance to the previous low of the week. I literally froze. I froze. I did not take this trade. This candle happened. Then once this candle happened, it was just too late. It was just too late to get in. The risk reward wasn't good enough. And because I'm more tempted to trade Ethereum now, so even if this wasn't a Monday's low, it was reclaiming previous day Asia range. And this was actually a better trade because my supply up here was really like a much better. Was it this candle? I think I worked out it was like a 4 point something or risk reward. But anyway, yeah, it was probably from this candle. What was I saying? I lost the plot. But yeah, super upset about this trade, that not taking it. The thing is, it was Friday. I'm careful on Fridays, and this price action has just been so up and down that I really thought Asia would not do much for the whole session, and UK the same, and US was going to bring the move, because in my backtesting, I know that every second week we have consumer sentiment on Fridays, and this usually yields a very good trade in US in Fridays. And this happened to not be the case on this Friday. I didn't get anything crazy in US, and yeah, the move that happened in Asia. This is something that I wondered a lot about trading lately. Is we are dealing with an ever-changing environment, and you have to adapt. And it is good to have guidelines, and for example, trade only at session opens. Be careful on Fridays. If the model is not fully playing out, don't jump onto, for example, here, a W when you don't have your 3 levels down. Only take Ws after 3 levels. But sometimes the setup is so good, and because I have experience and I've seen this happen, it is worth putting away some of the rules or the guidelines that you have and take that trade that is worth it if you feel it. Because I refer it a little bit like fishing sometimes, for whoever is a fisherman, is you might go out fishing tomorrow and it's a little bit cloudy, the tide is coming in, it's a day or two before full moon, all these conditions are perfect, and this is what you might have on the 4 hour, your levels are nice, conditions are perfect, and then you get no fish, you don't catch anything. And this is what happens sometimes. The higher time frame is clean, 4 hour, get into a good area of interest. It's like right up session opens, but it doesn't give you the candles and the setup perfectly to enter. You just don't get a trade on the lower time frame. And sometimes you go fishing, it's super sunny, the water is still, you can see through, it's middle of the day, and yeah, you just make a killing and you get so many fish when all the conditions were against you. And this is why I try to focus on the 5 minute, because sometimes my high time frame is shit, my levels are shit, but then the setup is here and it's clean, and I should take advantage of it. So yeah, this was mainly the thought for the week. We'll see next week. I'm probably only going to trade Monday and Tuesday, because After that, it's Christmas, and I'm going to take 2 weeks off, reset, and have a brand new evaluation account to start the year and start fresh, because so far I was really just playing with the little bit of money that was left on the account. So yeah, this is the trade. I took the loss, $14. The account is this evaluation account is close to breach. I'm using screenshots, otherwise if I have too many windows open, it will make my computer lag. This is weekly review. The goals, what I did good was only focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum as I planned, and a good patience into this environment. It's a tricky environment. I missed some trades, but in the end I only took one loss, and it's easy to only see the period you're in now. That can be very difficult, and you might be struggling with it, which is my case now since the last 2-3 months. But look at the overall picture over the last 6 months, the last year, and notice that you're acting way better than what you were maybe even just 2 or 3 months ago. And me just being able to just take one loss in this whole week and not being like bounced around and take like 4 losses and make mistakes and jump on average setup is a huge progress, and it's something that I acknowledge and I'm very proud of. So like I said, this month so far I've been very careful. Only losses, like a break even, two losses. I think it's 4 losses, 1 break even, but you see it's only a 3.3R loss. So there's nothing really bad, like 1 or 2 good trades. We're just gonna get rid of this. So this is it. Yeah, stop beating yourself over your executions. If it's not good lately, just zoom out and compare what you are in your overall journey, and it will make things brighter. I'll see you next week. I'll do a quick monthly review as well over the whole month and the last period. And I'll also do a separate video soon where I'm talking about the 9 months I was trading full time and the decision to go back to work. See you next time. Merry Christmas. And think about disconnecting from trading in those times, and enjoy some good holidays. See you guys.